You know the feeling. It's that 2 p.m. wall of anxiety. Your focus is shot, you're irritable, maybe a little hopeless, and the rest of your workday feels like an unclimbable mountain. You're staring at your screen, but the words are blurring. Your heart is beating a little too fast, and there's a pit in your stomach that has nothing to do with being hungry. It's that awful, familiar feeling of being completely overwhelmed. What if I told you the problem isn't your willpower or your work ethic? What if the issue has a powerful biological component? Your brain is literally running on fumes after a morning of constant stress, digital pings, and relentless demands. And you are far from alone in this. According to recent Gallup data, 41% of employees globally feel stressed for a large part of their day. In the US, it's over half. And with some recent studies showing that well over half of American employees report feeling burned out, this is clearly a modern workplace epidemic. But here's the crucial part. What if you could do something about it? Not with more coffee, not by powering through, but with a simple, science-backed technique you can do right at your desk. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a 20-minute practice that can help replenish your brain's energy, dial down your stress hormones, and give you an immediate, tangible boost of calm and focus. Stay with me, because this isn't just a band-aid, it's a fundamental brain hack that could change your entire workday. To understand why you feel so drained, we need to peek inside your brain. Think of your brain as having two competing operating systems. First, you've got the fight or flight system, technically called the sympathetic nervous system. This is your brain's ancient alarm bell, run by a tiny, almond-shaped region called the amygdala, your threat detector. When you perceive a threat, whether it's a tiger or just an urgent email from your boss, the amygdala sounds the alarm. This floods your body with adrenaline and a stress hormone called cortisol. Your heart rate picks up, your breathing gets shallow, and your muscles tense. It's designed for short, intense bursts of survival. The problem? In our modern work lives, that alarm bell never seems to shut off. The constant stream of emails, looming deadlines, and the pressure to be always on keeps your threat detector firing. This leads to a state of chronic, low-grade fight or flight. You aren't running from a tiger, but your brain and body are acting like you are, all day long. This isn't just a feeling, it's a physiological state with a massive cost. The World Health Organization estimates that depression and anxiety cost the global economy a staggering $1 trillion each year in lost productivity. Your personal feeling of exhaustion is part of a massive, collective burnout. Now let's talk about another key player here: dopamine. Dopamine is often misunderstood as the pleasure molecule, but it's really the molecule of motivation and drive. It's what gives you the energy to pursue goals. You have a baseline level of dopamine, and it's this baseline that helps determine your overall mood and motivation. When your brain is stuck in that chronic stress state, it can really mess with your dopamine system. First, you might start seeking cheap, easy dopamine hits to cope with the high cortisol. Mindless social media scrolling, grabbing a sugary snack, refreshing your inbox for the 10th time in a minute. These all provide tiny, fleeting spikes of dopamine, but they're often followed by a crash, which can leave you feeling even lower than before. Second, high levels of the stress hormone cortisol may blunt your brain's ability to use dopamine effectively. This is a leading theory for why, by midday, you can feel so unmotivated and apathetic. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your brain's entire motivation and reward system is out of whack. You're left with high levels of stress hormones and a depleted dopamine system. The result? A perfect storm of anxiety, irritability, and mental exhaustion. This isn't just a psychological failing. It's a biological reality. But just as biology is part of the problem, it can also be part of the solution. So, how do we fix this? How do we turn off the alarm, help lower cortisol, and support our dopamine system in the middle of a chaotic workday? You can't just tell your brain to calm down. You need to give it a specific, biological instruction to shift gears. This is where your second operating system comes in, the parasympathetic nervous system, or your rest and digest system. It's the biological opposite of fight or flight. When this system is active, your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and your body enters a state of repair. It actively works to counteract the stress response. One of the quickest ways to flip the switch from the stressed-out sympathetic system to the calm parasympathetic system is through your breath, specifically with long, slow exhales. This brings us to a powerful technique called non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR. NSDR is a modern term, popularized by Stanford neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman, for a set of practices derived from ancient techniques like Yoga Nidra. These practices guide you into a state of profound relaxation while you stay consciously awake. It's not sleep, and it's not traditional meditation that requires intense focus. Instead, NSDR is about systematically defocusing to bring your body and mind into a state of deep restoration. Here's why it's so effective for that feeling of work anxiety. An NSDR protocol, which is typically about 20 minutes, does 3 things with remarkable efficiency. First, it directly activates your parasympathetic nervous system. The guided breathing and body scan instructions help you slow your heart rate and signal to your amygdala that the threat is gone. This begins the process of reducing the stress hormones circulating in your system. Second, and this is the game changer, practices that fall under the umbrella of NSDR have been shown to impact dopamine. One fascinating PET scan study on Yoga Nidra, the practice from which NSDR is derived, found that it was associated with a significant increase in dopamine release in the brain's motivation pathways. So, in a short period of structured rest, you aren't just removing stress. You're helping to refill your tank of motivation and focus. This may be why a 20-minute NSDR session can leave you feeling refreshed without the grogginess of a long nap. Third, it changes your brainwave activity. When you're stressed, your brain is dominated by high-frequency beta waves. Practices like NSDR help shift your brain into slower alpha and theta waves. These are the same brain waves associated with deep relaxation, creativity, and learning. This shift may allow your brain to better consolidate information and make new connections. In essence, NSDR is a deliberate, targeted tool for your nervous system. It's a powerful antidote to the midday anxiety wall because it helps counteract the biological chaos that work stress creates. Alright, let's walk through how to actually do this. The beauty of NSDR is its simplicity. You don't need any special equipment. You can do it at your desk, in a quiet room, or even in your car on your lunch break. All you need is 20 minutes where you won't be interrupted. Feel free to close your eyes if it's safe to do so. First, find a comfortable position. Lying on your back is great if you have the space, but sitting in your office chair works just fine. If you're sitting, plant your feet flat on the floor and let your hands rest in your lap. Close your eyes. Now, bring your awareness to your breath. Don't try to change it yet. Just notice the natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. Let's begin by taking control of the breath with what's called a physiological sigh. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and when your lungs feel full, sneak in another short, sharp inhale to expand them just a bit more. Then, a long, slow, complete exhale through your mouth. Let's do that together. Deep inhale, another sip of air in, and a long, slow exhale. One more time. Deep inhale through the nose. Top it off with one more sip, and a long, slow, controlled exhale through your mouth. This double inhale and extended exhale is a remarkably fast way to slow your heart rate and activate that rest and digest system. Now, let your breathing return to a natural rhythm, but keep a gentle focus on making your exhales slightly longer than your inhales. The next stage is the body scan. The goal isn't to feel anything special, but simply to move your attention through your body. This act of directing your awareness is what helps keep you in that calm state between wakefulness and sleep. Bring your attention to the toes of your right foot. You don't need to move them. Just become aware of any sensations, contact with your shoe, the temperature, any tingling. Now, move that awareness to the sole of your right foot, the arch, the heel, the top of the foot. Bring your awareness up to your right ankle, your shin, your calf, all the way to your right knee. Now your right thigh, the front and back of the thigh. Feel the weight of your leg on the chair. Shift your attention to the toes of your left foot. Just notice what's there. Move your awareness to the sole of your left foot, the heel, the top of the foot. Bring your awareness to your left ankle, your shin and calf, your left knee, your left thigh, feeling its weight and connection to the chair. Bring your awareness to your hips and pelvic region, noticing the points of contact. Now, move your attention to your abdomen. Notice the gentle rise and fall with each breath. Bring your awareness up to your chest. Feel the expansion on the inhale and the softening on the exhale. Now, your right hand. Bring your focus to your right thumb, your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, the palm of your hand, the back of your hand. Move that awareness up your right wrist, your forearm, your elbow, your upper arm, all the way to your shoulder. Shift your attention to your left hand, your left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, the palm and the back of your hand. Move that focus up your left wrist, your forearm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. Bring your awareness to your neck and throat. Let go of any tension there. Now, your face, your jaw, let it go slack. Your lips, your tongue, your cheeks, your nose, your eyes. Let your eyelids be heavy. Your eyebrows, your forehead. Release any furrowing. And finally, the crown of your head. For the next few moments, hold your entire body in your awareness at once. Feel the sensations throughout your whole body as a single field of awareness. You're not thinking, you're simply feeling. You're not doing, you're simply being. If your mind wanders, gently guide it back to the sensation of your breath. Stay here for a few more minutes, resting in this state of aware calm. Now, it's time to slowly come back. Start by gently wiggling your fingers and toes. Slowly bring some movement back into your hands and feet. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Notice how you feel. There's a quietness, isn't there? The mental chatter has faded. The physical tension has eased. This is the state of a regulated nervous system. This is your brain reset. You did it. You just completed an NSDR protocol. 20-minute NSDR session is an incredibly powerful reset. But what about when you don't have 20 minutes? What about that flash of anxiety that hits right before a big presentation? For these moments, you need faster, more targeted tools. One of the most evidence-based approaches for managing anxiety comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT is widely recognized as an effective treatment because it teaches you to challenge the negative thought patterns that fuel anxious feelings. A simple CBT-based technique is cognitive reframing. When an anxious thought like, "I'm going to fail this presentation," pops into your head, stop and question it. What's the evidence for this thought? What's the evidence against it? E.g., I've prepared. I've given good presentations before. What's a more balanced way to think about this? E.g., I'm nervous, but I am prepared. I'll do my best, and that's all I can control. This simple act breaks the automatic loop of negative thinking. Another powerful, quick-acting tool is grounding. When your mind is spinning with anxiety, it's often lost in the future or the past. Grounding techniques pull your awareness back to the present moment using your senses. The 5-4-3-2-1 method is a classic for a reason. Silently name 5 things you can see: your monitor, a pen, a crack in the wall. 4 things you can feel: your feet on the floor, the texture of your desk. 3 things you can hear: the hum of the computer, a distant sound. 2 things you can smell: the coffee on your desk, hand sanitizer. 1 thing you can taste: the lingering taste of your lunch. This exercise forces your thinking brain to re-engage, pulling resources away from your panicking brain. It's a pattern interrupt that can stop an anxiety spiral in under a minute. And finally, never underestimate a few controlled breaths. If you only have 60 seconds, try box breathing. It's simple. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Repeat this for 4 to 5 cycles. This structured breathing imposes a calm rhythm on your nervous system, coaxing your body into a state of relaxation. These tools, cognitive reframing, 5-4-3-2-1 grounding, and box breathing, are your first aid kit for work anxiety. They won't replace the deep reset of NSDR, but they give you immediate control when you feel that stress starting to rise. So, where does that leave us? We've talked about how the modern workplace can put your brain in a constant state of fight or flight, flooding you with stress hormones and messing with the dopamine system that drives your motivation. We've established that the anxiety and exhaustion you feel aren't just a personal failure, but have a predictable biological component. But most importantly, you now have the tools to fight back. You have the 20-minute non-sleep deep rest protocol, a method backed by science to help calm your nervous system, reduce stress, and restore your focus and energy. You also have your anxiety first aid kit, cognitive reframing, the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique, and the simple power of box breathing. You don't have to be a victim of your own biology. You can become the architect of your mental state. You have the ability to consciously shift your nervous system from stress to calm. It just takes knowledge and practice. My challenge to you is this: try it. The next time you feel that 2 p.m. wall of anxiety, don't just grab another coffee. Find a quiet space, put in some headphones, and run through the NSDR protocol. Experience the shift for yourself. If you found this guide helpful and you want more science-backed strategies to master your mental health, make sure to subscribe. And finally, if you know someone who's struggling with work anxiety, a coworker, a friend, a family member, please share this with them. We're all navigating this high-stress world together, and sometimes the right tool at the right time makes all the difference. Thank you for your time. Take a deep breath. You've got this.